Greetings and welcome, everyone. It's All You Can Geek Gamecast, episode 631. I'm one of those, Jim Gass, joined by Mike Sneedy. And Corey. Oh, Corey's not here, so yeah. Tony Korkanakis. Sorry.
Hello?
Sorry,
Hello?
Tony.
Hello?
Hello. Everybody hear me? Is this thing on? Yeah, I apologize. Corey will be joining us shortly. Father, son things going on, so let him deal with it. It's bedtime for the kids. That's all, folks. Just bedtime. So, welcome to the Gamecast, folks. We have a fun episode. We have a fun night tonight. We have a TV show of the year stuff coming up. We're going to start off with the Gamecast because Corey would obviously going to be joining us. So, but Gamecast this week. Gameplay wise, I haven't played much, but Mike, I'm excited to talk to you about Midnight Suns because I'm liking what you're posting.
I am. I almost want to retroactively change some of my of the year stuff because of this.
Yeah.
Because if you want me to go into it right now, I'll do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
This would probably be now my surprise because I never expected to like a game that's a card strategy game.
What's crazy was when I first started talking about this game, I first started playing it, I think you could probably see my hesitation to get you into the game. But then as you play it more, I'm like, no, I think Mike totally will dig this game. Like, I don't know what it is. There's jank. There's definitely some jankiness that doesn't. Yeah.
Right.
But it's a fun Marvel game. Like, it's fun, right?
I might have actually put it third on my list this way through.
That's good. That's cool to hear. I'm like excited. This is like a new world for you, Mike. XCOM on the horizon, right?
Well, I mean, a lot of what it is for me is still the representation of these characters I know already, which I enjoy.
Yeah, but the gameplay is not bad, right?
No, it's not bad. I actually prefer it to what you do most of the time.
Yeah.
I don't hate the God. There's so much dialogue in this game. I don't know how, like a lot, and a lot of permutations for all these activities. But yeah, I'm way into it. I put a lot of time into it this week. I think I'm about halfway through it, which is also pretty encouraging because it's not a short game.
No, it's a long game. Yeah.
I
haven't had time to finish it yet, so. But
it's hard to sort of gauge the length because.
Where are you at?
Well, it said part 2. I'm like, what part 2? I've been playing this for so long.
Yeah.
And that was 2 or 3. That was only maybe 2 or so main missions ago. I'm at the point now where I'm doing more of the side stuff because I'm low on the resources needed to buy stuff.
Yeah. Okay.
That might be because I did go up to heroic when it asked, so I'm scraping by with 1 star on like every mission.
I mean, I guess you're gonna keep going. I'm doing it on normal still and enjoying the game just as much. So.
See, I'm not sure like what the reward difference is. I didn't read it, but
it's better purchasing rewards, isn't it? Like that's all it is, right? If I remember right.
Well, so I think you get more of the was it gloss or something for being on a higher difficulty?
Yeah.
But you might not get the extra bonuses from doing well from the other resources. So that might be where I'm at. That's my guess just based on how much gloss I have versus how much not enough of the other things to upgrade stuff I have. Scraping by with 1 star on heroic forever. But no, it's fun. It's a good representation, I think, of each character, although everyone is still kind of a little too cheesy.
Also, like, don't you wish there was just, like, for some reason, just a little more detail? Doesn't it just look a little washed? Like,
however, in almost every aspect, I love my hub worlds, and this is a pretty good one, but it's just like one like order of magnitude, not enough like level of detail to everything.
That's what I've been saying. Like, I can't wait for it. Like, this game gets a sequel. Like, I just know that they could really make that polished better, and I'm just like, that's what I want. You know?
You got the environment is interesting. There's just not quite enough stuff in it. Everything's a little too spread out or a little too flat, and you have your nooks and crannies here and there that it's interesting to like look around in the library, but it's not quite like you don't get that feeling that you get quite when exploring places in like I don't know like BioShock or Arkham, stuff like that, where everything seems very dense and like there's a Easter egg in every corner. It's not quite there, but and also, yes, graphically, it's janky. And I mentioned it on the PlayStation 5 with the current update. I guess this wasn't always the case, but a main character, Caretaker, as a consistent graphical error on her face, like all the time. She has there's like some black rectangle, like I don't know, glyphs that appear every now and then, like by her eyelash, and it's all the time because I guess that every cutscene is in engine, which is nice, I guess. But yeah, so it's pretty janky, and it's also strange to me that all the friendship building, it definitely seems like you're trying to fuck everybody, but you never. But no, you never do.
But Marvel's like, no.
you can't actually like couple up with any of them, but you can like go swimming in the grotto one-on-one with one of them.
There's a lot of Ms. Marvel or Captain Marvel, not Ms. Marvel, Captain Marvel interactions I had where I was like, yeah, dude, she's definitely coming on to me. Jesus.
Yeah, I feel like I'm like trying to date Colossus's sister. What's her name? Magic and Ileana, that's right, from the show. Ileana. Yeah, you remember that. But yeah, it's lots of characters. They I don't know how many or more are coming, but now that I like this game enough, I'm gonna actually pay attention to like the DLC stuff that's supposedly happening. So
it's cool. I'm like excited that you like that game. I don't know what it is because like I said, when I first started, I'm like, there's no way. And then I'm like, as I'm playing it, the charm of the universe just keeps paying off. And I'm like, I just love the collection of heroes. It's like, it kind of feels like what Ultimate Alliance first did, right? Like when they first did that, it was like,
Yeah. And that's why I was really highlighting. And it's ironic because I think out of all of it, I was the one that was the most excited about this because I love XCOM. I love card games.
I was super down on it being. I'm like,
I mean, I'm an XCOM fan. I know that.
That's fair. It's just it was unfortunate timing that it got delayed till the end of this year in the year-end rush.
Yeah,
I do plan on picking it up, but like I was really happy getting the reviews and seeing like feedback and then hearing from you guys. So that's really awesome to see because like the thing is like this is what I love when the companies do something that's a bit atypical because I mean like on a bingo card like would anybody guess Marvel's going to collab with the XCOM developer to do a card battle or RPG. Nobody would have guessed it.
Not a chance.
Like it doesn't take, like whereas like somebody going to try to do a third-person action game based on fill in the blank. And it's you'd probably get that one.
It's like that's one of those dartboard like the throw. Yeah. Okay, so it's going to be a Marvel game, RPG. And then card battler.
Sure. That's all you got.
And I made note of the fact that. When I play Yakuza Like a Dragon, I'm like, playing that, you're like, oh, this still might be better as an action game because like I can picture it and see it, and what you're doing is not that unsimilar from the heat actions you gain in like the brawler game version. But here, like, I think this justifies it enough for what it is. I'm like, I can't quite picture like this game not being what it is, sort of the way because it's it's fully that. So like I don't know if this would feel the same or work the same if you really would just like go and brawl with everyone. Like I think the team aspect.
I think it would be incredibly repetitive. Yeah,
you would need to really mess things around. So I think this is it's really cool. It's definitely got me into something like this more than I ever thought I would be, and we'll see how it goes. The story does get better. The actual plot is pretty good. The individual writing for like the voices,
the dialogue
is not great, but the overarching plot is decent.
But like I'm just definitely told they had a budget for it, like a very constrained budget. For this.
I mean, listen. I mean, we look at the Forspoken conversations we're having now about the dialogue in that game. I've heard the dialogue is so cringy in that game. So maybe it is just like the batch of writing for us that we're not used to, like different generation. Maybe I don't even know.
I also find it odd that they're afraid to have alcohol in this game.
Yeah,
they have a bar and they're talking about getting root beer. Like
it's Marvel.
Like, really?
You got to keep it. You can't throw the booze in there.
So. Marvel can have. I mean, Wolverine's there ordering a fucking root beer. It's stupid, but whatever.
Yeah.
Other than that, I love it.
Yeah.
So we'll see how it goes. We'll keep going with it.
All right, Tony.
Kind of along the same spectrum. I picked up Fire Emblem Engage.
Nice,
because that came out on Friday.
Yeah,
and I'm only 2 chapters in, so obviously that's not really much the grand scheme of things. But I'm conflicted because like the presentation is so good. Like even compared to Three Houses, which I thought was pretty good for a Fire Emblem game.
Yeah.
This is even better. Like the character models, like everything, just like you look at that and you're like, damn, this looks really fucking good.
Cool.
Like very, very good. Like probably one of the best looking tactics type games ever.
Wow.
It's very fluid. All the animations are really nice. Rather than you get like you had a little jank every now and then with ever since I switched to 3D and stuff like that. But man, the story starts out so cringe. Like, and just in terms of like you have this like flashback or like premonition of like, the final battle or whatever like that, and then all of a sudden your character wakes up from like a dream, being woken up by these like twin kids, and they're like, oh, it's the divine dragon, they're finally awake. You're like, what the fuck? Like, okay. So it's very jarring. It's like, oh, and of course, because they've been asleep for 1,000 years because of a wound, your player character loses their memories.
This sounds,
so it's kind of like tropey, and I'm just like,
seems
this is Midnight Suns.
A little similar to Midnight Suns.
Right?
It's literally
exactly. It's like, wait, what? And I was just like, okay. So it just starts out a little cringy because like you just have basically 3 characters hero worshiping you right off the bat. Like right off the bat, they're just hero worshiping you. They're like, oh my god, I can't believe I'm even talking to you. I'm like, oh man, like this is awkward. Like feels a little cringe, I'm just like, I like feeling like a badass. I don't want to be worshipped literally,
Plot twist here. Plot twist. All 3 of them are the villains of this story, and they're just messing with you.
That would be hilarious. I would actually give them so much props. But yeah, the story just has been a little cringe so far, which is kind of unfortunate because I love Three Houses, more like political, 3-way conflict kind of thing and stuff like that. But again, it's early. Who knows? It's always Fire Emblem. Very subject to change. But overall, gonna have fun, and I'm going on the hardest difficulty, which I unlocked right off the bat. You don't have to go through the game one time to unlock it, which I think previous ones you had to, which is always crazy to me. It's like, bro, I'm experienced. I played these other games. Just give me the hard difficulty right off the bat, or called maddening in this stuff like that. So, just a couple chapters into that, and gonna dig some more into it this week.
All right, cool. I think we should get into the news a little bit here, right? I mean, Corey's still running a little late. That's okay. It's okay. I was trying to see if we could come back in right when we needed him on this comment part where what he's up to, but I'm gonna go for Corey here. He's playing more Xenoblade Chronicles 3, still slogging along, and there we go. I went for Corey.
No, I bet he hasn't even played anything this week, but we'll see.
Probably not. I mean, there's also been a football week too, so we got some playoff stuff. It's a busy weekend. All right, let me get this opened here. Let's go into some game news, though. So we had a couple things come out. Now, obviously, last week we had the massive layoffs from Microsoft, which we didn't talk on the pod. I'm sorry, I got my overlay just popped up on the screen. Sorry, everybody. We didn't talk about the layoffs from Microsoft. We did, I think, but it was like the week. Was it the week before? Did we even talk about that? No. So they laid off 10,000 employees, and I thought. Look, I put Riot Games on here as the news as well, but this is more of a, and obviously Microsoft's grander scale, but this is a problem in the industry. There's a massive issue going on right now with it consolidating, right? I mean, that's really what it is. Mike's just had enough of it. He's gone. So, I mean, that's really what the issue is. I mean, right? I mean, we're Tony?
Yeah. I mean, so problem is twofold. It's from a tech industry, all these companies, because it wasn't just Microsoft, it was Google, it was
Google
Amazon,
did it. 12,000 employees from Google. Yeah. There's a bunch in the industry, not just like, I mean, there was a post, somebody posted like the problem with these amount of layoffs when it's happening right now is there's no way there's enough jobs to refill all these positions. I mean, it's ridiculous because there's just so much in the industry.
Yeah. I mean, so like overall, just for IT stuff in general, it's just these companies overhired for the COVID years, and then all of a sudden they're like, oh, well, what's the easiest way to get back into profitability? Or, I mean, I don't want to say profitability because all these companies are still profitable. It's just, how can they make the numbers look better to investors? Because, the stocks all around are down because of looming recession or whatever you want to inflate, whatever we want to talk about, economic, macroeconomic factors and stuff like that. Cutting jobs is always just the easiest, cleanest way to just be like, oh, look, we're going to have lots of, savings for next year and stuff like that. So it obviously sucks. But
well, I think, Microsoft in particular. Yes, go on. That's what I'm saying. Go on.
Microsoft in particular, they have the gaming aspect of it. Google shut down Stadia, so, their whole gaming thing is down.
Sure.
Amazon does still have Amazon Games. I think they were hit to some degree, but it wasn't as widespread as... I haven't heard anything. I would be hard-pressed to see Amazon not lay off people from their gaming division. But with Microsoft, it was very significant across the board because it impacted heavily 343 Industries and Bethesda Games and what's the parent company? ZeniMax,
is that it?
Yeah, ZeniMax, whatever it is, their parent company, with fairly significant layoffs. And I mean, from what people have said online that were former employees are indicating it could be anywhere from 20 to 50% of 343 Industries. It's hard to gauge. People are just saying it's very, very large there.
I mean, the questions I have for that many employees at 343 is how long have they been employed there? Don't they have that limit of employment? How long have they been employed there?
Oh, that's you're talking about contractors.
So that's okay. That's a separate thing entirely.
Yeah,
because I thought they were all kind of like that in 343, but
no, you've had people that've been there for. I mean,
the higher ups. Sure, I thought the higher ups were like that, but when you're dealing with just
no, it's only contractors that are 18-month stints.
Got it.
Stuff like that. And the thing is, you even had posters that were or employees that were in the art industry, the art department.
I saw them post that, yeah.
And it's I know it could get conflated when you think about games and looking at it all as a developer, but when you think of an artist and it could range from concept art to storyboarding to making the models and the textures and stuff like that. They have nothing to do with the actual programming of the game. They have nothing to do with the networking of the game. The game, the moment-to-moment gameplay, if that was shit, they have nothing to do with that. They were here's the assets.
They drew the hand on the screen. Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
And it's so, they do those assets and, they're waiting on that team to do whatever work they are. And, they got to either work on the next thing or they just, kind of are waiting around. So for them to get cut, kind of what really sucks is well, did they have any impact on Halo Infinite being a poor games as a service, game? No, absolutely not. But they were, being punished for it and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I mean, just opening up the can of worms even bigger. I just think this is a really bad look on Microsoft's part. Especially
when you're doing an acquisition the size that
you're trying to do an acquisition, to not be is this good or bad? I mean, absolutely. I'm still on the side of this is really bad for the industry.
Yeah.
And
I gotcha.
I mean, the thing is, and I always say this every time we talk about these mass layoffs, especially in the gaming, because there's not that many gaming jobs out there. There really aren't.
No.
So when you have these huge, studio-wide, layoffs, there's just going to be people that will leave the game industry. They will absolutely just leave the game industry because we talked about it so many times. There's crunch involved. The pay isn't as good as private sectors and stuff like that. And the work-life balance is just so much better. So why if you're a skilled person, you could make AAA quality games, why would you subject yourself to be you know what, let me go to another studio and give my soul, have my soul sucked out for one game, over the next 5 years. No, they're going to leave. Yeah. And that's why you see, I'm not picking on any particular studio, but you see with Rocksteady, it's been almost a decade since Arkham Knight. And I've talked about it every single time that they had lead development openings on their website for years. You can't get that talent that easily. So when these people leave, there's nobody behind to pick up that hat,
Yeah, nobody even wants to at that point too.
Right, nobody wants to.
Yeah.
So it's just bad overall.
No, it is. I mean, Microsoft also had a bad quarter. Was it a bad quarter you just posted on there in the chat before?
Yeah.
Okay. So, I mean, what was the numbers on this? I'm way ahead. I'm on the wrong spot. So, Xbox hardware is down 13% early in this gen already from this year. I mean, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's declining. 13% is a hell of a drop already to have, but especially now that there's more abundance. They're out. You can see them now. They're on the shelves. You can get them. So it's kind of not a good start of the year for them. Gaming revenue declined 13% in 3 months ending in December. implies, let's see, 4.74 billion quarterly Xbox sales, the lowest since fiscal year 2020 quarter two. Xbox content and services down 12%, is in line with estimates. And again, overall, their gaming revenue and hardware were down 13%. So, I guess they were expecting this, but then, I'm surprised by that much of a decline. So, but I guess I don't know. I thought with the abundance on the shelves that you would see a little bit of a boost from all this now that you can actually get them.
I mean, you would think so, right? Because that's what happened with PlayStation.
Yeah.
They had a very good, year as soon as they could,
produce them. Yes.
Turn out those PS5s. But with Microsoft, and I don't want to sound like I'm picking on, but I am, because that's the reality of the situation. This goes back to the conversations we had the past couple months with just the problems that their ecosystem has had. Going a whole year without, a triple A game. And you know me, like, I'm not going to be like triple A games are the end all be all, because I love my indie games. I love the double A games. I love the jank stuff. But when you are a first party publisher and you are trying to sell hardware and you're trying to sell Game Pass subscriptions and you don't put up AAA games to help sell that service, to sell that hardware, this is what happens.
Yeah.
Like, this is absolutely what happens. I mean, and this is great. This is Xbox's second year.
Yeah.
To go down in your second year, that's really bad.
I mean, you're also, like you said, you're also dealing with a lack of content on Microsoft's side. It's just like we've joked about it over and over again in this podcast, but the reality of the situation is they don't have anything. There's no sales pitch. There's like, what do you have? Game Pass. Play all these games we have. Yeah, that's a good sales pitch, but you're up against games like God of War. You're up against games like Horizon. All last year, you're seeing these advertisements of these epic games from Sony, and you're not getting anything like that. Even like just a layman customer watching the TV, you're not getting anything like that from Microsoft because there's nothing to advertise for. It's just Game Pass. That's it. And if they show Halo, like, who gives a shit about Halo? Nobody gives a shit about Halo anymore. So, like, they have dropped this ball. This is the culmination of the last decade from them. That's just been, it's just, they're just coasting, and you can't coast any longer. We've said this how many times? I think a lot of it has to do with that. The layoffs not. I mean, the layoffs, they're still doing great financially. They're able to buy companies that they want to buy because they have such a bankroll of money. So, and we don't know the terms of the layoffs. Maybe there's a severance package people have gotten. I know that people have posted that they still really enjoyed their time at Microsoft. There's a lot of nice PR from people that were let go. Not a lot of people, not everybody, but, there are some. But also then, like, just jumping back to that side of things, I also hated Phil's response to it. Like you said, like, was it a Friday afternoon, a cookie cutter press release, essentially, is what he did.
I mean, it didn't even sound like it. Just
it wasn't written by him. It was written for him.
Yeah. It's like, I guess I should say something.
Yeah. It's like somebody in his staff did their job and said, like, listen, I made this up for you. Just release this. This will make somebody needs to say something. So that's what it sounds like is what happened. So, yeah. Anyways, let's see other news. Oh, let's go back to Sony side of things here. Last of Us. The UK chart sales jumped 238% after the TV show launch. Fire Emblem Engage, second biggest launch in the series for in the UK. There's some good numbers here for UK, but that Last of Us bump from the show is, it's crazy. It's this game dangerously getting close to GTA 5 here, people. No, I'm just kidding. I love
those bastards had to make sure there was a premium priced version of the first game out.
Yep, they knew what they were doing. Get it out there. Get it waiting.
And they're timing the PC release to release.
I mean, look what it's doing. Look at our friend Bill
right before the finale.
Yeah. Bill on our your friend Bill on there is like, gotta play the game, but it's so hyped from the show, and it's a great show for those wondering. Even though this is the Gamecast, I will say that I'm very impressed with that show. And man, gaming media into the TV and movies right now. This is the time, man. This is the good days. I mean, this is great. The golden age. Is this the golden age? Can we say that yet? I mean, I don't know.
I think we're all going to see that now.
Because, it's crazy.
Ever since the comic book movie industry really boomed, and we could point to Spider-Man X-Men, even though I know, there were Batman movies, Superman movies before that. So I point to those as being the ones that really kicked off.
Sure. Yeah.
And the current era of, superhero movies being a big blockbuster. But I think we are going to see, a lot of companies go to video games again to call.
That was on your bold predictions, I believe, right?
Yeah.
I think it was.
Yeah.
So. Yeah.
Because, things people have tried, and I don't want to, discredit anything beforehand, but, Tomb Raider, I think, was moderately successful, right? The Tomb Raider movie.
Listen, if it wasn't called Tomb Raider, I was going to say the newest one I enjoyed like crazy, but I wish it wasn't called Tomb Raider. Like, it would have been fine as a movie, just as an adventure character. But so the movie was fine. It was the ties in with the game it was trying to do that just wasn't executed properly. That's all.
Right.
But if Mario is like the movie that I'm hoping it is, I hope it's great. I hope it's fantastic. If it hits, like this is the golden age of this. It has to be, right? I mean, there's nothing like you're hitting it now. This is finally it. We finally figured out how to bring video games to the screen. Like, I think that's it, right? I'm sure there's going to be some misses still going forward. There's still some superhero movies that miss, but overall, the curse is dead at this point.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, like, what do I want to say here? A lot of this reflects the budget, and I'm not taking away anything from Last of Us because I haven't watched it.
It's fantastic, but yes, gotcha.
But I mean, yeah, everything is pointing. But like at the same time, they spent like $100 million every episode.
Sure.
Like that. That is crazy money. I don't know how you make that back. Really, I mean, you're not selling that many copies of Last of Us. Like, I'm sorry, I don't know how that works out. I'm not the math guy. Like, video games is one thing, but like when you're like video game adaptation with HBO Max, like I don't know how that.
Well, HBO. Listen, I will tell you right now, how much I am enjoying this series, I will have to subscribe more. I have a trial subscription going for like till February. I'm only paying like $2 a month, but it's going to be over in March, and they're going to get me for that month. They're going to get me. Mm-hmm. So that's a little bit there. So.
They got your $15.
$15 for that month. I mean, I'm paying $2 right now, but right. I'm feeling like I'm stealing from them at this price for this.
Right.
This
but
content.
I mean, like I'm just saying, like. If Capcom could convince HBO to give them $100 million for every episode, I'm sure they could do a fantastic Resident Evil.
Oh yeah,
compared to like that Netflix piece of
absolutely,
shit.
Yeah,
and it just all comes down to budget, and
it does. But
good for them.
I'm looking forward to that. Yeah, but all right, let's flip on back to other stuff here. Worser news: Crystal Dynamics. Is it worse news? I don't know. Crystal Dynamics is finally stopping support for the Avengers game. So no more active development. Sorry, not support. Active development. They will support the game going forward for like bug fixes and stuff like that. But content-wise, they are wrapping it up in hot anticipation of a sequel here. Is that what we're thinking?
I doubt that.
No way.
No, I know.
But also, it's funny. So I don't think you'll be able to buy the game at all anymore. And
it's being
yeah.
And but all of the cosmetics that were so high priced, like I think
didn't they open them
being
up?
free.
I think they already opened them up. Yeah.
Did they do that already?
I think they did.
Or they're going to.
Or am I mixing that up with the Stadia news? Did Stadia do that at the end? They just unlocked everything to play? Is that what I'm mixing it up with?
I know they're going to do that, but I don't know if they're doing it right away or that'll be what's happening once it's fully delisted.
Got it.
I feel like they said something about September, I guess, is when. I don't know, but no, you're not getting a refund if you bought any of that, unfortunately. So
nope.
Nope. I mean, I kind of have mixed feelings about this. The game could have been good. It wasn't the worst thing that's ever happened, but it's just a shitty live service thing. It just didn't quite work.
Yeah.
And most of them don't that I know of. I mean, again, Destiny 2 seems like the only live service game that got it and was sustainable.
But this is the game why I thought Midnight Suns was just not going to be a good game. I don't know what like Avengers just killed that hype for me. And Guardians of the Galaxy was fun though. Like that's the thing.
Yeah,
it was a fun game.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, unfortunately, no one really played that either.
Yeah.
Aside from us, but. Yeah, whatever. It's a shame, I guess.
Yep. So all right, that's pretty much it. Is Corey coming on here?
we got the Xbox show tomorrow.
Oh, that's right. The developer conference is coming up tomorrow.
Well, that's what I was alluding to.
June 25th. That's right. I'm sorry, I missed it.
Yeah,
I missed it. Yes.
By the time you listen to this, everybody, the Xbox show will have been aired, stuff like that. But
so maybe everything we said.
No, it's still right.
Wrong.
No, it's still right. It's just you can't fix what they've done these past few years in a developer conference.
Well, we've talked about before. They're not necessarily trying to sell consoles. They're selling Game Pass. So.
Oh, that's right. That's
what they do.
But that's the thing. They've missed their Game Pass targets. I mean, the executives lost bonuses over the Game Pass not meeting targets. I think we reported that back in 3 months ago or so, stuff like that. And even Phil said that they believe they've reached the majority of the people they're going to reach on that install base, and that's why they want to get on systems like PlayStation and Switch, so they can sell Game Pass subscribers to the uninstall base. Because again, like, it just goes hand in hand. If you have 100 million Xboxes versus 200 million Xboxes, you're gonna be able to sell Game Pass on a higher install base.
Yep.
So at some point, yes, it does matter to a degree on how many Xboxes they sell.
Oh, yeah.
Because without selling those Xboxes, Game Pass doesn't exist. Game Pass does not work. It just doesn't. The math would never work out.
No.
And I still am 99.999% sure. Soon, two things. Starfield absolutely getting delayed the second half of this year. I would be shocked if we didn't hear that tomorrow, or by the time you listen to this. And then second thing, Game Pass prices will go up, like almost around exactly in Starfield.
Do they announce that tomorrow?
No. They will say they don't want to ruin a show with that.
Okay.
That would be just a kick in the dick, I think, for most people.
So yeah, what are we expecting tomorrow? Any surprises? Besides, maybe they won't delay that game tomorrow at the conference. They'll wait. This is gonna be a positive conference for them. What they're gonna release. So we'll get a Forza proper, and then I don't know, Fable. Do we get Fable?
No.
Give me Fable, please.
I heard Fable. The things I've heard on the rumor mill is that Fable had to get completely relaunched or rebooted.
Yeah. That's what I've heard too.
Same thing with Perfect Dark. Like it's just a shit show, man. Like, I mean, I would love to see a new Fable. I would love, and with gameplay, not like a CG trailer.
Sure.
I mean, we got that CG trailer like what, 3 years ago?
Yeah.
At this point or something.
Hey, look, we're making this, but yeah. Yep. Doesn't actually exist. So bad, yes.
Like, I just don't understand like how you could be a Microsoft fan at this point and not be disappointed.
No, I know. I am one of those people. And I am disappointed. I think I've made that abundantly clear in the last few episodes of this podcast, actually. So I think it'll be interesting to see what happens tomorrow. I'm looking forward to the Gamecast next week. So we were going to do anticipated, but I think due to this, we might have to wait a week and we'll do most anticipated after that. We'll see. We'll talk about it. But all right, I think that's going to wrap up this episode of the Gamecast, though. We have, again, the TV shows of the year coming up in the MovieCast episode, so stay tuned for that. We did flip it today. So if you're watching this on Twitch, welcome. We'll be back on shortly with the MovieCast coming up. Please join us. And if you missed this, please watch this over on YouTube. Hit that subscribe button, smash it, the like button, leave us comments. Comments are great. We'd love to hear from you guys on either channel, Twitch or YouTube. So feel free to do so. That's going to wrap it up, guys, for this episode. Thanks for tuning in. We're out.